It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
It's a top of the morning, top of the night to you. Cole Caufield, the good Irishman, scores his 40th goal of the year. First guy, 1993-94. First Montreal Canadian to do it. All right. How are you tonight, lads?
Aaron Gobra.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I'm thinking, no, we're not going to a shootout again because we suck in the shootout. And I'm thinking, Evans and Texe out there. Good move, Marty. Yeah, that's going to friggin' get us a goal. And then, but they got one more shift in with the lads. That three, is there a better overtime trio than Caufield, Hudson, and Suzuki? I don't think so in the league. I don't think there is.
I don't think so.
Clutch. And you just
how many overtime goals is that now for Caufield with that trio? What, 12, 13, something like that?
Oh, man, it's crazy. Since Vinny Damphousse, 1993-94, first 40-goal scorer. It's been too long, guys. And I happen, it's sad that I'm old enough to remember that. But yeah, I mean, frig, I think I was already graduated from college when that happened. So, but anyway, wow. Needed to get that extra point on Boston. Well, on everyone. Did Columbus win tonight? I haven't.
They're currently winning.
They're winning. It's not over yet. Let me get to the scores here quickly, because I was a little immersed in that game, I have to say. Wild 3-2 over the Hawks. Predators, Jets tied 2-2. 3-1 Oilers. Connor Murphy scored, by the way. Good pickup by the Habs. 5-1 final. Blue Jackets.
So super close.
Yeah. You might as well have said it was over. Islanders beat the Leafs. Okay. Good. Well, they needed to win then because Columbus won. Yada, yada, yada. Wow. Solid game for Dobie tonight.
Yep.
Again, kept the minute. Struble. I really like Struble's game again. He's it's tough it's going to be tough to keep him out of lineup here, I think. What do you think, guys? Last 3 games, he's looked good.
No, he's been solid. I have not a thing to say about him. He's playing, he doesn't play spectacular physical hockey, but he just plays the body properly, gets the guys out of the way, and he doesn't try to do what he can't do with the puck. He just gets it to the nearest man and lets them make the plays. I've been really, really impressed, and I hope I was worried that they were going to do the thing that they always do. The 6th defenseman plays 9 minutes a game, but they used him in the third, and they kept. He got his regular shifts. I don't know what his minutes were, but it looked like he played some decent minutes tonight, and I hope he did.
I think it was over 13 minutes at 5-on-5.
13:40, 13:36 on 5-on-5. He only got like 4 seconds on it. So yeah, 13 minutes is good. He's I kind of figured playing when they teamed him with Hudson that he would get a decent time. Carrier still got 16 though, eh? Okay. Well, they're going to actually Carrier the last 2 games. He's been okay. After those those hiccups. The last 2 games, Goulet and Hudson, they get kind of caught in the corner. I mean, you can blame it on the system if you like, but I don't think that's just a mistakes on the player's part. And then tonight, Happy and Hudson, sort of they each took the same man and left another one alone. I'd probably blame it a little more on Cappy than Hudson on that one, but you take your pick. But what's the one common theme with those two goals against? It's players that have played less than 200 games in the NHL. And we have to keep that in mind that, you know, there's going to be growing pains with this group. It's going to be exciting as hell, but there's also going to be defensive lapses. You can blame the hybrid system if you want, but at the end of the day, you've got kids that haven't played 200 games in the NHL yet that are going to make mistakes, no matter what defensive system that they have employed. Mm-hmm. There's going to be times when, you know, the two are on a guy when they shouldn't be, and I mean, it happens so fast, right? Like, you can blame them a little bit for it, but still, like, it just, you know, hockey's a fast game, and there's going to be times when you don't pick up your man, and it happens quickly, and deflection, score. But, you know, we do have to be patient with this group, and it's tough because they're in such a tight race, and they're in, you know, they're right in the middle of the top 8 in the Eastern Conference and could still win the conference. But the second youngest team in the league, the defense core is one of the youngest, most inexperienced in the league. So there's going to be you know, goals against that. It's just lack of experience, and, you know, it's going to take time, but there's just they're so explosive offensively now. I mean, this is the most explosive team that the Canadians have had this millennium, this century. Mm-hmm. And you know, we're going to have to take the bad with the good, but man, they're an exciting team. I just wish they'd friggin' win an easy one here, but it doesn't seem like it's possible. It's going to be it's going to come down to the wire. The regular season is going to come down to the wire every single game, it seems like. Man, it's like it's a 1-goal game or tied late in every game, it seems like now. And it's good thing I have a good strong ticker. That's all I can say.
Well, honestly, this is a really, really good comeback game for them. After the game they played on Sunday, they're honestly terrible weekend. They just couldn't do anything defensively correctly. And in this one, we talked about that one glaring error, but other than that one glaring error, unfortunately led to a goal, they didn't really have a breakdown like that. So they played fairly solid, and when they did have some slight opening or Boston created a chance, Dobesh was there. So they get in the goaltending they're supposed to get for a playoff team. They played much better defensively, and like you said, they're a difficult offensive team to contain. And this was basically a playoff game for them, and they delivered.
Yeah. Carrier is bad.
Sorry?
Well, Carrier is bad. You know, like, hey, high sticking penalties. I mean, the Canadians, everybody's been guilty of that this year. I swear they have more high sticking penalties than some teams have total penalties, minor penalties this year. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And I didn't think, I mean, that can happen to anyone. Carrier's been better the last 2 games. I'm not going to ride on him when he's played okay, and he has played okay the last 2 games. It really has. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, so I just want to piggyback off what Blain said, because it's a great point. Like, you know, this weekend, in the general public and on social media, I think Goulet and Carrier got the brunt of everybody's anger and frustration. Started off, you know, penalty, Carrier. It happens, as you said, Grant. And, you know, he could have panicked a little bit, but he finished the game strong. He didn't make any glaring errors. And not only did he not make any glaring errors, but before the Suzuki goal, he was pressured in the offensive zone, placed the puck in the corner safely, didn't panic, did a good move. And right after that, Pasternak comes out. He played him really well one-on-one. Broke
He
up the
did.
play, and like a minute, I think, later, Montreal scores. That was a great play by Carrier. And second half of the game, especially, Goulet came on so strong. He was playing very good defense, moved the puck intelligently. And if I'm not mistaken, he might have been the first or second. He might have been the second or third most used defenseman today, if I'm not mistaken. He played some big minutes, and he played them really well against a tough team.
Yeah.
Man, like, I would give these guys credit instead of more than anything else. They came back strong when they could have folded a little bit there.
Yeah. Goulet's right there, 22, 27, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, right with Matheson. I didn't mind Matheson's game tonight
No?
for the most part either. All the defensemen I thought had a half decent night tonight, and it's good to hear because they've been, like you say, they've been getting the brunt of the criticism, especially Goulet and Carrier. Even though I don't think Goulet's been horrible, I mean he's had a few errors here and there, but I looked at his goals against average, and it's actually pretty good this year. It's better than the Canadians' goals against average. So it's not like he's costing the team with goals any more than what they're giving up. In fact, he's probably been a little better so far. So, and he wasn't falling as much tonight as he had been. And, you know, hey, the power horse, my goodness, maybe his best game of the year. His dad, man, a huge Habs fan all his life. He brought him up well. Okay, like I bet you, like it was drilled into Josh's head from an early age that Boston and Toronto are the enemy. And who does Anderson play the best against?
Yeah.
Toronto and Boston. He just it just seems to motivate him. Dad probably calls him before. Get that power horse revved up there, young fella. Let's go. It's Boston.
Don't bother coming home if you play bad.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No,
he was really good.
Oh yeah. Gally, Friggy almost scored. They had a nice chance. Actually, it snapped off a pretty good shot too, and they just hit Swayman in the shoulder. Swayman was good. I mean, the Canadians could have had a few. Cappy in the first period. Oh my goodness, he was good, and he set up. His playmaking has improved. I've noticed in the past few games. He's getting more. He's setting up more plays, and I've seen it. I know he's got that in him. He sees the ice well. He had a period there. You start to wonder because he hadn't been really setting up a lot of plays, but you know, he must curl. I know Finns aren't known for their curling, but he's got really nice touch. Like just gets it up to Anderson perfectly. He did it for an icing too, where he didn't, you know, and he's done that before where he just gets it out of the zone. But he was really good on the PK, especially that 4 minute. You know, I was thinking like this is a blessing in disguise that the guy that got the 4 minute penalty was Carrier, because it means that he freaking wasn't out there killing the whole thing off. But actually he ended up playing a pretty decent game and wasn't even bad on the PK after that. But it was important that they only, because, you know, it was close to the end of that first penalty, right? It had to be, but it wasn't. And Carrier had to sit in for the next 2 minutes. And if Boston had scored again on that second minor, it might have been a tough hill to climb, and it was huge. I thought the PK for the most part, and especially Anderson and Kapanen, were really, really good tonight. And Cappy had that really good chance in the slot, and then he set up Demidov also. Like with a little luck, he had 3 points in the first period. So I liked Cappy's game a lot in the first period. Then him and Hudson had the, you know, so you give him a minus for that. But on the whole, I liked the second line again, Cappy and Demi in particular. It looks like they're starting to get their game going again a bit here. And even for the most part, the first and second line, there doesn't seem to be many nights when both of them are going. For the most part, both of them were playing pretty well tonight, and Montreal deserved that win. And I'm glad that they pulled it off.
Well, offensively, both those lines did well.
Yes.
The top line clearly dominated anytime they were on the ice, and Kapanen's line did really well when they got into the offensive zone. The only issue I have is they got caught in their own zone a few times, and it gave up a lot of shots. Some of them fairly good. If they can clean that up, and if they can clean that up, man, you'd finally have two strong lines for a top six. The Canadiens' third line, I thought, played fairly well as well. Evans and Bodzik together with Texier. I think that line did really well.
Yeah, they weren't bad. All three, the top three lines, all four lines actually.
Yeah,
for a change, really, because I mean the Anderson line. Anderson was probably the best player on the ice tonight. So I love him, Schmuck and McAvoy. Man, that nice to see McAvoy get it back, eh?
A little bit, yeah.
The two Irishmen colliding, and
That's true,
I don't know if Anderson's Irish, but I'm pretty sure McAvoy probably has some Irish in.
I agree.
Scottish. Go ahead.
Yeah, if he's Scottish, he's going to feel really insulted.
Yes, he is.
So I think on the Kapanen line, I think one of the reasons they get hemmed in a little bit is still, Demidov just trying to figure out the defensive side of the game. He's often just like not a factor defensively, and that hurts. I think Kapanen is doing a really great job. And at some point, I remember having the discussion that with a friend saying that maybe maybe splitting Danault and Evans on the penalty kill would be a good idea, and having Evans back with Anderson and having Danault and Kapanen together, just because the one thing I find when Evans and Danault, because they're both centers, I think they tend to play a little bit more aggressively on the puck carrier, and they wind up chasing a little bit more to play, where Kapanen has a more cerebral approach. He's a little bit more patient, plays the angles a little smarter, and I think that works better. So I'd like to see that little change maybe one day, just to maybe augment the efficiency of the penalty kill. Maybe something that the team will consider. But as you said before about some of the defensemen, it's all part of the growing pains of the team, and Demidov will figure out the defensive game a little more. But at least he's willing. He's not floating out there. He just has to figure out positioning, patience, use of his stick a little better and stuff like that, so he could be more of a factor without the puck.
Yeah. Blain, thanks for your service, says Donnie McCaskill. Nova Scotia boy here, Greenwood Area Valley. Thanks to you and Rick's contribution. Yeah. Grant, you can take a hike, but he didn't say he was just thinking that. But yeah. Thank you, Don. Yeah, that's nice. Nice to see you guys get some loving, eh?
Thank you. And but I'll give the floor to Blain. He's the hero tonight.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I'm wearing green.
Yeah. You know what? I don't have any green, so
I'm just wearing a green tong.
What's that?
I'm just wearing a green tong. That's about it.
Tong. The hell's a tong?
Don't ask. You don't want to know.
Yeah. You got tongs? Where are they?
Tong.
So, Peak, did he not close his hand on the friggin' puck in the crease there?
I think he did, but they couldn't see it, so they weren't going to call it.
It's hard to tell.
There's a lot of things they didn't see.
Well, he friggin' saved it. Oh, my God. They had so many chances.
Did a great job stopping it, though.
He did, but then into his glove, down in the crease. That's a penalty shot. It's a friggin' penalty shot. Yeah. Well, anyway, like I say, Habs deserve to win that. I'm sorry, but Swayman kept the Bruins in it with some really big saves. But Doby gets credit, only letting in 2 goals. It's not too often the Habs only allow 2 goals. And although I think the defense gets a lot of credit tonight, they didn't really give Boston that many golden opportunities. Let's have a look at the stats here again quickly here, see what we can come up with. And of course, I was talking about how Cappy needs to take more faceoffs on that line, and what the hell do I know, right? 17% faceoff circle tonight. 1-1, lost 5. Anyway, Jake Evans 53%, Phil Deneau 11-5, won a big one. Little quiet again, Phil, I thought, but maybe one of his better. He didn't hurt the team really tonight, I guess. Good on the faceoffs. Nick bounced back 58%. Hits wise, Brendan Gallagher 6 hits in his 900th game. There you go. I really would have loved. He got an assist too, by the way, and in his 900th game, got a good ovation. I didn't see the video. Did you guys see the little or whatever?
No.
It was in commercial, but he got a nice ovation there. Wish he'd have scored on that really nice chance in the slot, and that would have been gravy. But I like Gallagher and Deneau's games tonight. Texier was okay again. That line, that line was okay. Bolduc probably gets another. He's not going to be taken out again. He played solidly enough. Evans too. Really, you go up and down the lineup, and can you really say that anybody had a poor game tonight?
No, you can't. The Canadians overall dominated possession, and that went for every single line. I think the second line there, Kapanen's line, is probably the only one that didn't have positive possession numbers, just because they gave up a ton of shots. But when it came to high danger chances, the Canadians completely decimated the Bruins on that one, from top to bottom. And then Dobson quietly had himself one hell of a game. He's leading the team in block shots. I think he got 3 more tonight. He threw, I think he's only credited with 1 hit or 2, but it looked like it was like 5 or 6. He took on a ton of physical play and just rolled off of it, moved the puck up ice efficiently and quickly. And I think it just shows why he was brought on.
Yep. Cappy had 3 block shots, and that was mostly on the PK again.
Yep.
Kudos to him for really solid penalty killing tonight. They even started Anderson and Kapanen for that a couple of PKs, and I like that decision because I think overall they've probably been better on the PK than Evans and Deneau. So I was happy with that decision. He ended up playing 324 on the PK, which is a nice chunk, more than Deneau did. So I was actually happy to see that he got a little bit, because I think he's been more effective on the PK than Phil Deneau since Bill came on. So hits wise, really the only one that that's pretty crazy. Caufield,
Gallagher just killing
Gallagher 6, and then the next, Anderson 4. So that line, those two 10 hits between them alone, and even Deneau didn't. Well, no surprise, didn't get any hits apparently, but that's I like it. I like it. And Lane, I said it today. He's going to be motivated to after being kind of the goat on that last goal. The last game, and then him and Captain kind of getting their wires crossed. You just knew, you just felt that okay, Lane's and I mean scooting 2 minutes and 20-second shift in overtime. And did you see how much juice he had left at the end there?
He was still pushing pace.
Holy frig! He just scooted by 2 minutes and 20 seconds into a shift, and he just whizzes by a guy, and they'd already made a change. Like they might have made 2 changes, and Butson just doesn't matter. That guy's like I'd love to see his VO2 marks there on the bike. I'd probably just his pulse rate probably never rises. He's just well, hey, when you practice 8 hours a day, I guess you're in pretty good shape.
No, he was solid defensively too, and the one thing too about the defense that as a whole that I did like is when they did give it an opportunity, they were not giving a second, third, and fourth opportunity right after that. Like Boston got their shots in. It's gonna happen when you have players like Pasternak and Geeky, and they're really good players. But that was it. It was one shot, big save by Dobish. Boom, we get the puck out of danger right away. No hesitation defensively. There was not a lot of standing around. People seemed to be on top of it. And it goes to show you that there was a lot of criticism about Robideau and is he the right defensive coach? I was like, sometimes the players screw up too. It's not always the coaching. And tonight, well, I didn't see any issues with that. They were on top of things. Very few mistakes. And again, like I said before, no second or third chances, no coughing up the puck in the center of the ice. If there was a cough up or somebody making a bad play with the puck, it was always in the corners or at the edge of the blue line. So there was not really big dangers for that. Great game by the Habs defense core. And it happens too because there was better support by the forwards. They were coming back more diligently on the back check and they were giving good support. So this is really encouraging. As the games get more difficult, you're going to need that from the team. So good stuff there too.
And the support they got from the forwards wasn't just them coming down, providing a quick passing outlet. They were going to the front of the net and helping to clear the front of the net as well. Whenever there was a scrum, there was always an extra forward there.
Right.
Throwing a little elbow, face wash, a headlock. Yeah. There's something always there with the help. So playing against a division rival, a historic rival, and not to mention a team that they desperately needed to beat, they came out with one of the better performances of the season.
Yeah.
No, it's very encouraging. Okay, they're making the playoffs, guys. I'm calling it right now. They're going to make the playoffs.
I also want to give.
They were 79%.
Sorry,
they were 79% before tonight, according to Money Puck, to make it. They'll probably be up to about 83% now, something like that. They're going to make it. That I got convinced tonight. They're going to call up Ryan Bacher still, but they're going to make it. Paul, Mr. Paul,
yes,
sent me an email. He said, prepared this after listening to your podcast about the number of games Caden has played. And, we talk about, Robideau gets a lot of heat, but is there a less experienced group of defensemen in the league? If there are, there aren't many. Carrier, 362 career games. Dobson, 454. Gooley, 195. And this was, Paul sent this to me earlier in the night before the game. So you can add one to each one of these. Hudson, 150 games. Matheson, 690. Struble, 155. Arbor, one of the the old guys, 220. So wow. 4 defensemen that don't have more than a 220 career NHL games. none with 700. Two defensemen on Boston have played 1,500 games. There's two guys that have played 1,500 games between the two of them, and I'm not even counting McAvoy, he said. So, you know,
Wow.
It's one of the reasons why this team is going to have struggles still. I still look back at the job that Robidas did as a rookie defense coach, breaking in 4 rookies in the lineup the starting night, something that's no team had ever broken in 4 rookie defensemen in an entire season, let alone started their first game of the year with 4 rookie defensemen. And then there was a 5th that came up later. So he broke in 5 rookie defensemen as a rookie coach in the NHL. And I mean, you know, a few of these guys are still just kids. When you think of NHL defensemen and experience, and I keep saying it, but you need 300 games under your belt before you're really truly comfortable. And you really know. Denny Potvin used to say, you don't really know what you have in a defenseman until you've played 300 NHL games. And Cartier's barely played that. Dobson 454, Matheson 690, but the other guys not even close to 300 games yet. So, you know, you can blame Robidas here and there. Maybe he's not perfect as a defensive coach, but I think he gets a little bit too much flack for a team that's the second youngest in the league, and you got to keep that in perspective. The inexperience.
Love it. Couldn't agree more, Grant. And you know, the Carrier is like the third most experienced, and he's not expected, and it's not fair to expect him to carry that defense. He's the support guy. He's the third pairing guy who just tries to facilitate and give you decent minutes. And today played 15 minutes and he was fine there. So that's really incredible. Like, not just good, it's almost incredible, because I think the only defense that has less experience than Montreal is probably Chicago. And they're like the bottom 5 in the league. So like Montreal is maybe barely more experienced, and they're, in the playoffs right now. So that's a huge difference. And I think Montreal's lucky to have such a good young defenseman, and they're well coached.
Yeah, for sure. Donnie McCaskill saying, I want Anderson to grow hands. Ian Evans can't effing score. No, I know.
Well, he scored one.
I know. And nice hands too. Nice deflection.
Yeah.
But we wanted
whether it was on purpose or
Donnie?
not, doesn't matter.
McCaskill, the friggin' Scotsman, wanted 2. I'll leave it up to the Scotsman to want more, eh? Donnie, are you celebrating today, buddy? I'm going to assume you're Scottish with the MAC. That's usually, MAC is Scottish. MC, yours truly, Irish. I'm Irish to the car. Anderson was flying. Too bad he couldn't not get another in regulation. Yeah, he was good. Wow, fantastic game. How good is Nick Suzuki? Yeah, Nick, loved that play he made there. Eh? He just shows so much poise sometimes. He gets a puck, kind of look like, okay, I'm going to turn around and no, I'm not. I'm going to backhand it over you son of a bitch, and you're not going to be ready for it. That was a beautiful goal he scored, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where is he in? How many points did he get tonight? 2 more? 2 more for Nick?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
They've got him at 80 points.
2 goals. Wait, no, goal and assist.
You're right. So is he at 80 or 82? If he
I think he's at 82.
I'm not sure. He's up to 82 now? I don't know if they've updated these stats. They've got him, NHL.com has him at 80, but they're a little slow. If he's got 82.
He's at 80.
Oh, he's at 80?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, So is he back? He's got to be close, getting close to being on pace for.
He's on pace
what's he got?
for, I think it's
15
99
games now?
points.
What's that?
I think he's on pace for 99 points.
Is that right, eh? You know what? I think he's going to do it. Cole hit 40. So 1.19 times 82. I'm going to assume that Nick's going to play 82 games this year. What do you guys think?
Pretty good bet.
Yeah. 97.58 is the pace he's on right now. So he's got to pick her up there, Nicky. Close, but I don't know. When the games, when it gets down to nitty gritty, like last year, the last 30 games they had to win. Who was like the most prolific scorer in the league, or one of them? Nick Suzuki. So I would not be surprised if Nick hits 100 points. Wouldn't that be cool, eh? The last one would have been what? Naslund, probably?
In 87.
Yeah. 102 points, I think he had. Last one.
It's 114 points that year.
114, okay. But I know
think.
he hit 100, and I think Matt's was the last one. So lots of scoring marks going to be hit this year that haven't been in a long time. I was looking at one the other day too, like they got three guys that are on pace to get 80 plus points, 5 to get 60 plus, 6 to get 50 plus, and 8 to get 40 plus. And it's been, you got to go back to 92, 93, the year they won the cup, to find that kind of depth in scoring. So, if they can get one of those two goalies to play like Patty Roy now, you never know.
You never know. I like that. I mean, he's so consistent, right? Does Nick Suzuki ever go really on a slump? I just don't know when he goes. There's maybe 2 or 3 games where he's not quite producing as much, but it never goes much more than that. It's not like you have to. He's not like a streaky scorer, and boy, he surprises me all the time, and he's developed a little bit. He's better along the wall and in the corners than he's ever been before. It seems like playing at the Olympics, kind of, he developed that aspect of his game because he was doing a little bit more, and now he's winning more and more battles, not using his physicality, but just proper body position, good stick use, intelligence. He's got incredibly high IQ, and man, he's just adding layers to his game still now, and that's the beauty of it.
Yep. Rick is the center. Grant and Blain, I guess it depends on which end they're defending. Let's go. Best pot out there. Yeah, well,
thank you.
Let's fix that. Well, there. Now you're playing center. So what do you got to say?
Because I'm the youngest one, isn't it?
Oh,
are you?
You
two got to be
I'm a geezer. I'm an old man, so it's got to be you.
Yeah. Well, you're both 50 something, right?
On the nose, 50 exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, you are the young lad then.
Yeah, you are.
I think Rick's little 50 something.
Yeah, 55.
Okay.
No, 54. 54. Still 54.
355 coming up. Go Habs, go! I stay the course. Nas with the ole, with the Tony for the boys. Thank you very much. Donnie McCaskill, $5. Donnie, for a Scotsman, he's not that tight, eh? Thank you, Don. Mark, $5. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Perfect. Thanks. I got a private chat message from somebody at 10:32, which was 6 minutes ago, saying I got to head out in 5 minutes.
No.
Okay, what's that mean then?
11:32 here.
I'm not very good at math. Is that yeah? I guess that means your 5 minutes is up, eh, buddy?
Just about.
All right.
It's getting there.
But hey, you got you got to get the last couple of comments in the middle there. So, any parting thoughts? Next game, just as big.
Yeah,
What
the next game.
Detroit? Yeah. And are you gonna see it?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm going to be on an aircraft heading south.
Yes. Okay.
And definitely not sober.
No way. I was surprised you were sober tonight, but you're a Frenchman. You're not. You don't
hide it well.
That's today's not your day. That's Saint Jean Baptiste.
Yes.
I'll make sure not to have you on a podcast that day. Okay. So hey, enjoy your trip. Show us your pint there. Kilkenny. All right.
Good one.
And you got a scotch going there, Rick, tonight or what?
No, tonight I had already 2 of them, so tonight it's just plain old water.
Ah, that's vodka. Don't try to fool me. That's vodka. Come on. All right. Well, have a fine trip. How long are you going out to sea then?
I do my family vacation first, and then I come back from that and fly down to meet a ship. That's about a week and a half, and then I'm home for a day or so, and then back out to sea for the remainder of April and a little bit of May. Home for a little bit, and then back out all of June. Maybe all of July. I don't know yet.
Yeah, so you're gonna miss some of the playoffs.
But thankfully, the ships have Starlink internet, so we're going to be watching games.
Thank goodness. Get yourself a box. Android.
Oh, I don't have to. The ship pays for it all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like they've got what?
All the internet we need to watch the games.
All internet, yeah. IPTV.
Yep. Yeah, and usually the messes pay for subscriptions to Sportsnet, RDS, that kind of thing.
Okay, good.
Good stuff.
Oh well, good. Well,
don't mess around when it comes to hockey.
No, well, come on, got to have a life beyond the, the Bonnie Sea. All right. Well, listen, gonna miss you. I hope you can somehow figure out some way how to get on here on occasion, but you're always
whenever
welcome.
I'm in a port.
Okay, well, good, because I love Rick, but I like having two. I like having two on the go here. I really appreciate your opinion too. Okay, Blain, it's been. Thank you so much for doing this the last few months, and keep in touch as you always do. Keep me updated. Be safe. We're proud of you, and have fun on your family vacation. First of all, okay?
Will do. Thanks for having me on, and it's great chatting with you guys. It was great seeing you, Rick.
Thank you, Blain, for everything.
You too, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I know you love me. You just 1 minute. All righty.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay. Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kenny Pedro to a hard-fought win, $5. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
That's quite generous of you. I appreciate the. People are in a good mood too, right? Beating Boston. I mean, anybody of my ilk, and even you're 55, so trying to think here, 78. You wouldn't have been very old in 79, I guess, But would you have remembered 79, the Guy Lafleur goal, and just a little too young for that one?
I just watched it on when they showed it later on there, but in person, probably not. At that time, my family was. My dad was still working a lot of hours to save up money to buy a home and everything for us. They were
Okay.
like a lot of immigrant families, and so we didn't really splurge a lot on stuff like that. And just later on, when we started really watching it, probably in the early '80s, is that when we really became a hockey family, all of us together. But in the
Okay.
late '70s, we were not doing a lot of that.
No, okay. So you didn't even have a TV like in the late 70s?
Oh, we did, but we didn't really watch a lot of TV. I think, like I said, my dad was working so many hours, and the few
Right.
times when he was home, he was working 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. So, the
Wow.
TV was there was nobody to sit me down and go, let's watch hockey together. And when he
Yeah.
was home, he liked to do activities. He was more of the type like, let's go out and do something as a family. Let's bike
Yeah,
ride.
yeah.
Let's go to the park. Let's get outside. So in the '80s, we started watching a lot more Habs together, and that's when we
Okay.
really became a hockey family.
Yeah. There wasn't too much soccer on TV in those days or anything like that.
No,
Was your
no,
dad
no.
was your dad not a soccer guy either, really? Just not really
No,
heavy
it was a
sport?
fantastic bicycle in Italy when he was younger. So
Is that
a
right, eh?
quick story, they were so poor that my dad would use like his bike. He would ride his bike for over an hour to go do a bike race, usually win, sell his old bike to make a few bucks, and come back with a new bike he just won.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was really
Okay.
good.
Yeah, eh? That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And so the old yeah. Well, I mean, cycling pretty popular in Italy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You ever did he never got a did he ever go in any big uh cycling races or anything like that?
No, it was
Any,
more local. I mean, again, his family was really, really poor, and they had to
okay.
work and stuff like that. But we're up in the Alps, so you're racing all the way up those valleys, and really, really, we're like in the high,
Oh,
high up in Italy. So those were the tough races. Those were really, really up and down, really steep areas, and it was a battle. It was a battle when you did the races there.
strong calf muscles on that man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Eh?
yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Good. Well, I hope is he recovered okay from his fall and
Yeah,
that
he's
his
doing great.
injury? Is
He's
he
doing great. He's moving around. He's 86, but he's still in great shape, and he's still fully getting around. He loves to cook. He loves to get
okay?
out of the house. He still golfs. I'm lucky. I'm lucky. He's a great, great man, and he is my hero, and he always will be my hero.
Excellent. How long you want to go here? Another 5 or
I'll
something?
do
Or
another 5 minutes, and then I'll
okay,
let you talk to the public like only you can. So I'll probably got another 5 minutes or so, not much more than that.
okay, okay, good. Donnie's saying here, didn't mean a Scottish slight, especially today, but breakaways are always stone hands. Oh, okay. No, 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 I don't. Yeah, didn't take it that way at all, Donnie. I didn't mean a slight on you either. Great guess, Grant. Rick is a Rick Green type, and Blain maybe more of a poor man's knuckles. And Grant, you're Gainey type. Great work, guys. Great insight and
Thank
comments.
you.
Thank you all.
I'll
Happy
take it.
St. Patty's. Go Habs, go. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I might get a little more excited than Bob, maybe. Bob's pretty Bob's pretty even keel, but yeah, thank you. I think what you mean by that is like I'm a hard worker, and
That's it.
yeah, I appreciate the compliment. And Rick Green type, that's a good
I'll
compliment
take it.
too. Rick Green is a
I'll take it.
uh,
I appreciate that very much. The
yeah.
one thing too, Grant, quickly about tonight's game. I mean, we talked about the guys, everybody battling, and two guys that don't usually play physical that got themselves involved in the game. Tixey was going
He did.
after, playing rough, and not rough, but he was battling. And man, I was surprised at one point in the third period when Dano went into the corners with Mark Kastelik, and he won that battle. I was like, "Whoa! Look at Dano go there." That was cool to see. So, and that's another aspect I think of tonight's game that maybe fell a little bit under the radar. But I thought everybody battled. They didn't win all the battles, but everybody tried really hard to win the battles, and that was really important for tonight's game.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Like Texia, even like a little extracurricular activity, as Daddy Gallivan used to say, like got in there and a couple of shots, and Dano didn't get a hit, but he did. You're right. He did get in there and battle, and I've noticed a couple times in recent games where little more battling going on there, and that's good because he's not contributing a heck of a lot offensively at this point in his career. That I still find it hard to believe that he had a 25 goal plus season there in LA. From when he played for Montreal before, and now you just, how did he ever do it? Because he can't. His shot couldn't go through wet tissue, I don't think. But good for him and the team battle, and even Evans a couple times tonight. There was a little bit of battle there too. So today, Anderson back to his Tasmanian Devil days. Yes, he was. It's hard. Oh, here's a Marlon Brando saying it's hard not to come back with Dobish in Detroit. I think they're doing the alternate thing here now. Maybe, but then it would definitely be Fowler the next night, right? I think they seem to be alternating them, and I think they'll likely come back with Fowler next game. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, I think I like this. Fowler's been really good too, and Dobish seems to play better if he's rested. Statistically, there was some. I forgot where I saw it, but there was a big difference in Dobish when he plays too many games in a short period. So why not just roll both of them and go with it? There's no reason not to. And Fowler's still developing. You want to give him those minutes, and if he's playing well, now's the time to give him those minutes. Don't force him in there if he's struggling, but he's not. He's on top of it, and the more you play both of them with a reasonable amount of time between games, I think the better they'll be, and it just helps their confidence and just helps both of them grow because they're both young goaltenders. So why not put yourself in a position to win and develop at the same time?
Okay. Tony Montana, whose glass is usually half empty on a night, definitely not enough beef on the back end to clear the front of the net. Front of the net still painful. Yeah, well, I don't know. Tonight they played a solid game. They play like that. They can be dangerous. 4 lines going. No defenseman that really had a poor game. Goaltending was okay. They play like that in the playoffs. They make the playoffs. They'll give whoever they play a run. They're just too much skill on this team not to be dangerous. Nobody wants to play Montreal in the first round. Because they just one of the top three, maybe one of the top 3 skilled teams in the league right now, and I think certainly top 5. So that can take you. That can be dangerous. Like Edmonton, the last 2 years, has Edmonton had a really rugged, tough crease clearing team? Not really, but they went to the Cup Finals. I know they've got McDavid and Draisaitl, and Montreal doesn't, but Montreal also has, you go down 5-6 deep, really skilled, 5-6 deep up front, and then on defense, you got Hudson that you throw in there. That they're they're fully capable of giving whoever they play, if they make the playoffs, a run for their money. So are they built to win 4 rounds? No, but I still I like the talent. It's the most skill they've had since they were, serious cup contenders, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Playoff is always, as I said last night. It's so many teams. It's unpredictable. Anything can happen. Teams can go on rolls. You can play a team that ends up having some injuries. You can get some bounces. You can get a hot goalie. Guys can step up and play. Who's the next John Druce? You remember John Druce there?
I heard that name a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was playoff Druce, right? He'd score like 3 goals in the regular season and have 16 points in the playoffs. There's always those guys too. So who's going to be the John Druce for the Montreal Canadiens if they make the playoffs this year? You never know. Maybe Michael Hage. But I'm looking forward to seeing him in the lineup, hopefully at the end of the year too. Be nice to see Reinbacher and Hage down the stretch here.
Oh yeah.
Especially if they can clinch early, but it looks like it's probably going to come down to the last week. It's just way too tight, the standings this year.
Yeah, and that becomes the problem where everybody, the coaches get worried about bringing in a new guy or a kid, and I understand, they're. It's easy for us to say from here, but when you're in it, I understand the wanting to just stick with the veterans and go with what you know already, and you don't know how the young guy's going to react, but. Man, just Reinbacher does look ready. It's not just that he's going to come up there because you hope that you see him in the NHL soon because of his age and because he was a first-round pick. It's because he's ready now. And
they're not all veterans either.
No,
4 of the defensemen aren't veterans, so it's not like you couldn't replace them. There's not much difference in experience there. So
no, you're right. You're right. You're very right about that. It's true. Finally said something that I was right about. Well, on that note, then I'm going to let you go when I'm right. And right. Listen, you're on the right now too. You're not center anymore. Okay, Rick. Thanks for doing this. Thank you.
I thought that I expected to hear music and people dancing in the background and everything with the women away, but you're behaving yourself, eh?
They're on the other side of the room. We're keeping them away from the screen, but the scantily clad ladies. But no, I think it's going to be me and Barney. And good night to everybody.
Okay, Rick. Thanks. And
right. Thank you, Grant.
Friday night, Detroit. If you're available. Metal Day is going to be on, so you're more than welcome to join us, and I'll send you a text and we'll see. Okay.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And thank you, Grant, as always. Always have a great time. And thank you for everybody who's with us tonight. Best contributors on any show anywhere. So we're lucky to have them.
Okay. Thanks, Rick. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Ricardo Springhetti, Enrico. Let's get to some Bruins connects it their zone so easily. They just send the puck around the ramp. Another guy just faked, taking it, letting go. Habs always get fooled. Yeah, well, that was during the game, I guess, right? When they weren't winning. McAvoy is an ass. Anderson agreed with that. And he took care of him. What did Samurai say? Called it. Come on, victory. Sammy got it right. He called it. Good man, Sammy. Wow, frig. Calling Caufield in overtime to score a goal. That's like predicting McDavid's going to get a point. Kenny says Dovish was on tonight. He made some tough saves. Yes, he did. Huge win for the Habs, Mark says. Oh, yeah. Caufield with the big one, 40 goals. 2 matches versus Detroit, Columbus, and Islanders this season. Those are the critical ones. Yep. Kenny couldn't have said it better, man. It's, again, I'd hate to have to, I'd hate to have to write an article, that has to be in 5 minutes after the game every night, because you're tearing up your lead every friggin' night. It's crazy. And just once, I'm thinking, okay, tonight, hey, this game's going to end maybe at 9:30. No. Got to go to overtime. As Mark says, heart attack kids. Yes, they are the cardiac kids. There's no doubt about it. Does Dovish get the wings? I think it'll probably be Fowler. That's how they're doing it here, alternating them back and forth. Warren, sweating bullets tonight, I'll tell you. Yeah. Mark has a good something good to say here. Please like and subscribe. Help out Grant if you can. Yes, that would be much appreciated. So let's just double check scores here again. Sharks and Oilers tied 3-3. Canucks beating the Panthers 3-1. Sabres are up 1-0 on the Golden Knights. Lightning up 2-0 on Seattle. So considering that Columbus won, right? It's a good thing that the Habs ended up pulling it off, because the Islanders won. So it was Islanders and Columbus won, so it remains super tight in the playoff race in the East. And Ottawa Senators probably not too happy. Even the one team ahead of them that didn't win still got the loser point, right? So if you're an Ottawa Senators fan tonight, you are not with the outcome. They're playing good hockey, but it's just friggin' hard. They are 77 points. Detroit 82. Now Detroit's Boston and Detroit 68 games, 82 points. So Montreal 2-point lead on them with a game in hand. My goodness. It's just it's too close to call. Montreal fourth in the standings, fourth in win percentage in the East. They've stayed, they managed to maintain that, 627. They've been in and around 627 most of the year here. Oh, by the way, I had a look at Dylan Bentley today. He's an interesting player. I think Habs fans that watch a little bit of Laval are going to be pleasantly surprised with this kid. He's 24 years old. He's 6'4". Skates okay. Not a bad skater. 3 minor penalties this year, all in the same game. So he's not going to, he's not going to be a bruiser. I don't think he doesn't play the PK either, but he had 14 goals. And moves okay for a big guy. There's some, at 24 years old, he's more than ready to step into the AHL and contribute. Sometimes there's, signing these guys that are 23, 24 years old that go undrafted and play 4 years of college hockey, like they're ready. They're ready to not just step in. They're ready to step in and contribute. So I'd look for him. Don't be surprised if he plays regularly for Laval here. Well, they could use the depth too and the size, even if he's not a rugged player, but moves pretty well for a big guy. So I'm gonna likely tomorrow I'll put up a video of and do a video scouting report on the newest member of the Montreal Canadiens organization, Dylan Bentley, who played for UMass Lowell this past year. An interesting journey from Peoria, Illinois, played for like New Mexico in the North American Hockey League. His last year he did pretty well, but he was like 2021. Never got a sniff in the drafts, obviously, but a late bloomer. Went to college. 4 years later with UMass Lowell, he's he was their top scorer and stuff. So I'm going to try to get his coach on and interview him, but I'll do a video scouting report on Dylan, and some point tomorrow I'll put it up. Got to keep working hard like Bob Gainey. All right. See if I can get a few more comments here. I thought Carrier played a decent game if you take away his wild stick. Yeah, I think you have to, right? Gaza, Struble was a beast, amazing play to set up the goal that tied the game. He made both goals. Struble made plays at the blue line on both goals, and it was like he got the third assist, so he doesn't get on the score sheet. But both goals, Struble made the play at the line that was really good. And, he got the tertiary assist, right? But big plays on both of them. He did a spinorama, got it over on the first one, just outside of the blue line. And on the second one, kept it in and kept the play going. Solid again defensively, I thought Struble was. That first goal, he wasn't to blame. He played it well. It was Cappy and Hudson that got their wires crossed a bit. So Struble making a case to be in the lineup on a regular basis, and that's good. Both neither him or Jack-Eye really are playing what you could call hockey that they deserve to both be in the lineup, I think. So that's a good thing. When your 6-7 guys are both capable of being in the lineup, that's good. That's not a negative. That's a good thing. I could see Fowler starting the next game. They didn't bring him up to sit either. No, well, that's how they're doing it, back and forth. It's a good way of doing it. Alternate them. I think they'll just keep alternating till maybe one guy has a bad game and there's a little break between them. Maybe they'll play the other guy 2 straight or whatever, but they're both playing pretty well right now. Alternate them. For the most part, the D played well. I think so. Nash saying he's looking for Reinbacher. Strubes is okay, by the way. Grandy kept the puck in on that second goal. Yeah, he did. Dovish was good playing. Puck killed a lot. Yeah. Didn't Carrier, again, the last 2 games, I can't be overly critical of him. Other than taking the penalty, but all the freaking Canadians have been taking high sticking penalties this year. Frig. Is it 5 games in a row Habs don't score more than 3 goals? That's not much more than the league average. How much I like Cole as a little dynamic talent. I still love his dynamic talent. Yeah. Yes. So he's still is he on pace? I think he is to be the first since Lafleur to score like 86 goals in 2 years. Well, I got a message from Eric. I just tell him that I'm podcasting. I hate these games, but I love that game. I need to get my stash of Grease and Formula 16. Oh, I left just a little gray. Right? You know, remember the old 2 minutes for looking so good, Richard? Yeah, those were good. Drum dude, you have hair left? I know I don't, he says. Yeah, well. Welcome to the club. I like Tekche's game tonight. He's playing bigger and heavier, 200 plus. He needs to play that way. Is he over 200? He's kind of. If he is, it's soaking wet, I think. The line needs some size. New hook. I don't think that line works long term with him there. New hook, ideally, you want on the third line. I'd like to see Hage with those two. Pure rookie line, pure skill, smarts. I want to see Hage playing with those guys. Peter also thought what I did there. Pete covered the puck with his hands. Should have been a penalty shot. Absolutely. Back to his Tasmanian devil days, eh, Ken? Yeah. Yeah, I said that Hudson's like a little water bug out there. Jitterbug. Exactly what he is. Yeah. Kyle, I like Carey tonight. Never thought I would say that. Gooley and Struble so much better. Yeah. No free riders tonight. That's a good way of putting it, Marlon. I agree. We didn't. I'm surprised we didn't get more people here tonight. Well, they're starting to come now. We're up to 90. Okay, because it was down to like 64 a little while ago. Hit that like button, folks. Come on to the live chat. I get to everybody here if I can. I try to anyway. Charlie McAvoy was the last guy watching Cole Caufield. Yeah, there you go. Well, I got 2 beer here, and as it turned out, guys, the young lad didn't come home tonight, so I'm gonna maybe put in another hour here if people are gonna stick around. What do you say, folks? Another 45 minutes? Sue is always improving year after year. Point totals go up by the year, don't they? 41, but his second year he missed, he played 15 less games. Then 61, 66, 77, 89, and he's going to get, maybe 100 this year. So he had from 22-23 to 23-24, 11-point improvement, 12-point last year, and probably 11 points again this year if he hits 100. So not bad, right? Be kind of cool if he hit 112 the following year or 111. That'd be, I wouldn't put it past him. He's just going into his prime, his NHL prime here. So I like it. What a trade that was, eh? Getting Max and Tatar. And the second, was it? I can remember having debates with Stu, love Stewie Cowan, but saying both teams won that. No, they didn't. Habs Habs won it. Because yeah, but Maxwell helped Vegas win. Da 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 da. As it turned out, they played they played in the playoffs, third round, and Susie, first line center at 21, took Montreal to the Cup Finals and beat Vegas. So, and then Patch was gone before they won the Cup. Vegas did not. Both teams did not win that trade. It was Susie right from day one, basically. So, great trade. That's the one thing about Marc Bergevin that you have to give him credit for. He made some really good trades in his day, including getting Deneau for Fleshman and Weiss. and didn't he also get a draft pick? He fleeced them. Okay. I've always liked Suzuki, but realistically, I never figured he'd be a 100-point guy. He succeeded most people's. Yeah, I guess so. I know it was, it was a freaking topic back in 3-4 years ago on Tony's show, and he'd ask it, especially summertime and all that, when you run out of topics. But will he ever be a first line center? Tony, he was a first line center on the team that went to the Stanley Cup final. He was 21 years old. You got to wait. Centers need time to develop. You need players to play with. Suzuki, I never had any doubt that Suzuki was going to be a good first line center. I don't know if there's articles are still up on my recruit site or not, but I used to write articles about it all the time. Just say Suzuki is a legitimate first line center, and he's just going to keep improving. And when you're as intelligent as he is, it's it could take you a long way. Top 5, top 10 player in hockey with hockey IQ, maybe top 5 in the league. That takes you a long way. And obviously clutch, right? Clutch, competitive. He's a winner. Yeah, Draisaitl, right? Out for the season. Oof. Like regular season, though, right, Francois? When you say season. Yeah, Oilers might, but Connor, don't count out Connor. Connor can do it himself. Put a team on his back. Donnie, like I said, appreciate your service, Blain. Appreciate you all, gents. Oh, you did say all. Okay, sorry about that. Be safe, Blain. Always appreciate your insights. Blaine's a good guy. Western Conference already about to have teams mathematically securing a playoff spot. It'll take at least 3 weeks before we see that in the East. Yeah, and it won't be Montreal either. Well, I mean, it was bound to happen sooner or later, Ken, that it would shift to the East, because like 5, 6, 7 years of getting high picks, most of the high picks in the draft, right? Sooner or later, teams turn it around. There's cycles. You go through cycles, and it's about time that the East, and just beating up on teams in the West, really, right? it's been crazy how like even Colorado can't beat teams in the Atlantic Division this year. It's crazy. Draisaitl, 97 points. Yeah, that's a big hole, no doubt, for those guys. I'm going to have a quick look at the scores here again. Lightning 3-0 now. Kucherov, that son of a bitch, eh? You talk about guys that you didn't think, watching him in junior hockey, he's skilled, but one-way guy. He's not putting up that many points. I mean, playing in Rouyn-Noranda, would I have ever expected that he'd be a friggin' superstar? No, I didn't. So he goes at the end of the second round, and friggin' guy, crazy that he'd be a top 3 scorer every year. Could never have predicted that, boy. Scouting him in his draft year. That's what makes it so fun. There's always surprises. It's scouting game keeps you humble. Sabres 1-0. Canucks are still up 3-1. Likes to see Marco Rossi back in the lineup and contributing. Kraken just scored a goal, so Bobby McMahon assist to Beniers, he's bounced back after a really, really rough year last year. Nice to see that. Seattle never traded Shane Wright, eh? I'm just curious, man, he is not getting a lot of points, is he? 25 points in 66 games, 11 goals. I know I was probably more critical of him than anybody, but if you'd have said that he'd be a 25-point scorer at this point at 22 years of age, I would not have believed that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nine points in his last 26 games. That's just, it's unbelievable. All right. Trying to predict the unpredictable. Was Anderson hurt or gassed at the end? Oh, I don't think he was hurt. Not serious, anyways. I still think Habs need an agitator still. Too nice as it currently stands. Yeah. Dino lost a face-off in overtime. Didn't he win one too? I think he won a big one. He took the first face-off, right? 2-on-1, Boston almost scored, took a slashing penalty. They should have given him a rest to play Veleno. Yeah. It's probably not going to happen though, John. Not that I necessarily disagree with you. Bentley, the forward from the ECAC. UMass Lowell, Riverhawks. Not a Carrier fan, but have to give him credit tonight. He played very well in the PK, notably stopping a pass from going cross seam. Yeah, that was a good one. Like, hey, if it would have been a guy with length, wouldn't have had to make it that look that spectacular. It's almost like the Rogie Vachon making the glove save over in the corner because he's only 5'8". It was a 6'4" guy. He just, and I mean, if that would have been Reinbacher, he'd just stick a stick out and break it up. But Carrier had, that's one of the reasons why I just don't like him on. He's got to make it spectacular just to make what would be a routine stick in the way to cut off the seam pass for Reinbacher, who probably with his reach and stick has an extra 2 feet there, foot to 2 feet. So, but yes, he that was a big play and he made it, and he, I never have issue with his heart. He's got a big heart. He tries hard. He competes. I just see Reinbacher as an upgrade. Sick Carrier took a horrible double minor to start the game, then got hit. Then got away with one in the third with 3 minutes left. O'Doyle rules. O'Doyle, are you Irish, sir? Cole might be hard pressed to get 50. Yeah. I don't know that he'll do that, but 15 games left, score 10 goals. That's asking for a fair bit, I'd say. I gotta just a sec. I gotta plug this baby in. You like my pajamas, guys? My good luck pajamas. All right. Is Hudson captain worthy? Eventually, I don't know about that. I think you're probably looking at Slav. Big bad Slav, who didn't have too bad a game again tonight. Another point. Slav's on a good pace here, right? He's on another point streak. Just bring up he's up to 55 points. Sets a new career high every game. 4 game point streak. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in his last 6. You got to think that second half Slav's been pretty consistent here. From game 36 to game 66, that's 31 games. $35 points in his last 32 games. Not bad, eh? The Slav. Power Slav. You know what, John? I wouldn't mind Struble on the PK. He was solid in college Northeastern. Solid on the PK. Wouldn't mind it at all. Blain seems like the quiet type, so maybe he followed another in Suzuki. Yeah. Well, Weber was quiet. Maybe Lane could be captain, but I mean, he wasn't even captain in, college. It just doesn't seem like that's something that he'd necessarily want, but who knows? I mean, Suzuki. I think Suzuki's around for another decade, and who knows then, right? But Slav, 10 years from now will be what, 31, probably be just a complete beast. I think Slav would be your best bet as a successor someday. Excuse me. They make the dance, it'll be a success. If not, it'll be very hurting disappointment. Taking that I live by Detroit. Oh yeah, okay. Loved what Cole answered after the game when asked, "What's after 40? 50?" Cole's answer, 41. Good Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin boy. He knows his math. Carrier taking that penalty early gave a glimpse of the PK without him. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Gooley on it too. Timu Solani said in an interview he almost signed in Montreal at the peak of his career to play with Caufield. That would have been something. He decided to stay in Anaheim. Yeah. Any reason why Anderson did not come out for the third star? I don't know. I was busy getting set up. I don't know, Sil. I don't know, Silvio. Good question. Timu would have looked good if he played with Koivu. Yeah, well, he looked okay playing with Korea too. All right. Bergie made good trades. He got a second with Dano, yeah, and that second was Romanov, exactly. They wanted Cody Glass. Vegas countered with Suzuki. Yeah, that's the rumor that they wanted Glass. Sometimes second choice works out okay. Habs get to the show. They may need to play Arbor and Struble at the same time and Sick Carrier. Bruins played heavy and looked it. Yeah, they're not going with 5 left defensemen, Glenn. Especially, guys that haven't really played it. It's just not happening. USA were saying hockey is now their sport, but it seems baseball is now Venezuela's. They beat the US in the World Cup. Hey, good. Good for them. I kind of lost my zest for baseball when the Expos got jobbed. Still follow it a little bit, but what GM traded Sergachev and McDonough? 2 different GMs. Montreal matched them without Jacky. We don't need to screw around too much. Yep. Maybe Zhuravsky will be a Kucherov. Zhuravsky. I like your spelling there, Jeff. That's pretty. I think I know who you mean, though. No, don't expect a Kucherov. Nice player, but let's not put that kind of a. No. Doesn't skate anything like Kucherov does. Playoffs will be ramped up that much more, or shoot like him. I'm just looking at the picture as we were hoping to get bigger. Now we may just need to do it by committee. Yeah. Well, pump the brakes. Yeah. We have no idea what he'll become. Oh, you can dream, Jeff. We can always dream. But he's not... yeah, he might be the real deal. Be a little careful with that, you know. Eli Tolvanen had basically the same points per game, and he played in a tougher division than Jarosky. Does he become a superstar? It remains to be seen. There's work to be done there. I don't see a top six. I don't see him being a top six guy on the Habs, but if it all comes together, maybe. Yeah. Apparently there was a Nick Deslauriers, Matthew Olivier fight tonight. Ooh. Might be the two best fighters in the league going at her. You got to put friggin' Janot's become a beast of a fighter too. Yeah, he's not a polished product, that's for sure. Sil hasn't got a chance to see my video yet. Hey, that's okay, man. We're all busy people. Yeah, no, it's nice to see, but again, it doesn't, doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot at the end of the day. I mean, remember Shepachev, leading point getter in the freaking KHL year after year after year, and comes in and he can't even play in the league, Seabass, remember, what was his name? The guy, Seacatch, and he was going to be a great Hab, and then he, again, could barely play. But big scorer in the KHL, right? No, hey, we're all saying the same thing about Carey, but they're not going to play 5 left defensemen. They just aren't. I wish he could, but that's why I want Reinbacher up, so that there's 2 righties. And if need be, if Carrier's out in the playoffs, so if he's struggling with size and stuff, then you've got 2 right defensemen. But they're not going to play 5 friggin' left defensemen. They just aren't. Unfortunately, the numbers don't match, and they should have got a right defenseman, a veteran, big right defenseman. I will go to my grave saying that. They made a mistake not getting a right defenseman at the friggin', and then the price wasn't that high. I'm sorry. 2nd round pick for Connor Murphy, who scored a goal tonight, by the way. Canadians could have beat that. They should have beat that. Disappointing. You have to take the division he plays in, the amount of ice time he gets on that team. Oh, definitely. Salavat's, there's no comparison between the 2 divisions. None. Line A. And most of his points are on the power play. And anyway, yes, nice point totals, but a long way to come. Long way to come still away from the puck. Long way to come in his skating. Long way to come with his compete. Grant, what the Habs need is a 2026 version of Lyle Odeline. Hey, he was a big part of that friggin' cup winner, man. What a friggin' beauty for sure. All heart. He wasn't that big, but man, he could scrap. Oh, tough. Tough as nails. Well, that's not true that Hudson has a puck all the game. You gotta friggin' cover for Hudson too. He might have the puck, but he's up the ice half the game too. If you want to talk about that, no. Well, Jackeye doesn't play with Hudson because he can't cover. He can't defend 2-on-1s. Struble can. Need a tough guy like him that can skate. Yeah. Watching Sabres Vegas game, man, Sabres are oozing all kinds of confidence. Oh yeah, they're friggin'. You know, if there's a team that I want, Columbus and Buffalo. If Montreal doesn't win the East, I would have no issue with Columbus or Buffalo. You know, they deserve it. Two teams that have been just dealt bad hands over the, well, forever. Seacatch, yeah. Yuri Seacatch was hyped as much as the monster in nets with Leafs, Gustafsson, two overhyped guys that never panned out. Yeah. Thanks for the insight, Jarowski. Do you think Hage needs more polishing as well? Yeah. Well, I don't know that he's going to play. Probably won't play center to begin with, still. Especially second line center. Come in at the end of the year and hell yeah, you're going to be second line center. But yeah, Hage definitely is more ready at this point, but he's also older too, right? Yeah, Hage is a lot more NHL ready and also older than Jarowski, so that makes sense. But he's also played North America, you know, Big Ten the last 2 years, a lot more NHL type hockey than the KHL too. Like you look at the KHL and all the top scorers and stuff, you know, and they come over and play. Very few of them make an impact. It's a different game, and they don't really stress defense, even though it's not high scoring, but they're just, you know, who's more NHL ready, Hage or Rhino? They're both ready. I think it's basically a tie. Engblom or Oline on this team, maybe one day. Yeah, I'd like a Robinson on this team. Get me a Larry Robinson. Pronto. That's what I want. How many likes are we up to, Marcus? We don't have huge numbers here, so I'm probably thinking 60-ish at the most. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. If you're watching on X, come on over. Langway, man. I still remember seeing Langway. See, I'm pretty good at guessing that, eh? Usually pretty well on the folks. 64. Come on, let's get those numbers up. But Langway, yeah, I remember Montreal used to always play an exhibition game, and it was always Chicago Blackhawks at the Civic Center in Ottawa. I got Scotty Bowman's autograph, but I remember going to a game. I guess it was 78, something like that. And I see this big burly defenseman, that smooth skating, big bushy curly hair, and the mutton chops and the mustache, and holy frig, this is like the next Larry Robinson. He looks like Larry Robinson. And it's funny, I told Big Bird that, and in the summer when I interviewed him for a book that I'm gonna try to get finished this summer after the Habs season, and he said, yeah. He said, and I'd get mistaken for him all the time. And I guess Big Rod was a bit of a womanizer and a party animal in those days, and Larry, happily married and a family man and a good. He wasn't he wasn't womanizing like the single guys, like the Chelioses and the Langways, but he said, I used to get in trouble because people, yeah, you're out, seen you out last night. No, that wasn't me. So he gets Lang would piss him off because he'd end up getting mistaken for being mistaken identity. If I'm Habs, I'd rather finish 7th or 8th, follow the California bracket. Carolina, yeah, I've mentioned that before. So, yeah, Bussy and Nets, and the Habs scored 7 on him. Yeah, kid's playing well though. If he wasn't so old, he'd be in the running for the final 3 candidates for the Rookie of the Year too. Curvers and Matheson. Matheson's a little bigger, I think. A little better skater, but a bit of some similarities there. Toronto sure liked them, eh? What did I think New Jersey ended up getting Scott Niedermayer for him, right? Quite a trade that turned out to be. Toronto trades for him. They finish 3rd last. New Jersey gets Scott Niedermayer for an aging Tom Curvers. The Langway trade that the old Preds GM, who at the time was yeah. He made a dandy too, though. What was it? Martin Erat, Washington. Like, what were they thinking? Oh, here's Philip Forsberg for Martin Erat or whatever. Okay, that worked out okay for Poyle, who was the GM at the time. Brian Murray, my mentor from my hometown of Shawville, was the coach. Yep, and Craig Laughlin was the 3rd player. Langway in England. No, it was Langway, Jarvis, and Laughlin, I believe, for Green and Walter. And Larry said the same thing. Hey, Rick and Ryan were big parts of that cup win for the Habs. So, and Langway for all of his, his 2 Norris trophies and such, never won a cup. So, he won best D-man 2 years with Caps. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Hit the glass every time. Gaston with the big slapper. Sounded good. Smack off the glass every time. And inaccurate. Arbor has a similar, you can get it. You've got 107-mile-an-hour slap shot, but how often does it bend the twine? Unfortunately, but not nearly as inaccurate as Gaston's. He kind of skated funny too, but he could skate. Like, he was fairly fast, but it was a funny stride, but he got there, and then he'd unload that friggin' big slapper. Everybody duck. So Slav now 55 points. If he keeps up this pace of a point a game, another 15, be nice to see him hit 70, eh? Were we predicting that earlier in the year? No. No, we weren't. Not with the start. I mean, the start was okay, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. In his first 20 games, Slav had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. First 20 games, 9 points for Slav. So 20 games, 9 points. Oh, okay. He's got 56 now. 20 games, 9 points. So last 47 games. $47 points. Yeah. He's a point per game after his first 20 games. So last 47 games, Slav is a point per game. Wouldn't it be nice if the rest of his career he was a point per game guy? I wouldn't put it past him. Was I expecting that? I was not. So that's oh, I just got the phone number from Mark Diver. By the way, a good follow. He covers New England sports. Good guy. A good follow on X. I asked him if he had the number or a contact for the UMass Lowell coach, and he gave me his phone number. So I'm going to try to get him on and interview him about this Bentley kid, because, like I say, there's some intrigue there. Oh, you were saying Engblom. Okay, you said England. Yeah. Big Brian Engblom. Good player in his day. But they also got Jarvis and Lachlan. Yeah. Lineway, Engblom, Jarvis, and Lachlan. Okay. Good trade for both teams. Montreal had some guys coming up, like, Chelly was going to be there soon. And early morning for me tomorrow, heading off. Thank you, Grant, and everyone. Okay, man. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here in 5 minutes or so. Cole's one behind Hughes in the draft class for goals. He's played 62 less games. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I have to check that out, but goals for game for, to start their careers, Cole's got to be, I'd say in the past 15 years, not many have more goals per game the starts of their NHL careers, right? 158 goals in 353 games. How do you like them apples? Aren't too many. Maybe Matthews, maybe Laine, maybe 3 or 4 others, but that's pretty impressive. It's basically 4 years, not even 5 years, 158 goals. .447. That's a 37 goal pace per 82 games at the start of his NHL career. That's actually better than Laine for his career so far. But that's he's right up there. He's one of the best goal scorers to be drafted in the past 15 years at the start of his career. So he's living up to it. 93, the Habs traded for guys like Muller, Vinny, Bellows that were all huge. Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice to have the assets to trade for, Muller was a top 2 pick. Bellows was a second overall pick. Vinny was 6th overall pick. They're all in the primes of their career. Like when you can, and then Bobby Smith was a 1st overall pick. Ryan Walter, top 2 pick. Rick Green was a 1st overall pick. Hey, that's pedigree, right? Like it's crazy the amount of. At one point there, I remember they had, I think it was 6 or 7 players in the lineup that were top 2 picks. So that's when, and Montreal's getting that together now. Like they have a 1st overall pick, Slav. They've got a 3rd overall pick in Doc. They've got 5th overall pick Reinbacher that's coming, Demidov. Like, they're getting the pedigree now that they didn't have for 30 years. Like, there was Carey Price, and then you had Galchenyuk, but that was it. And Galchenyuk didn't really pan out as a top 5 pick. So, of course they weren't. They couldn't compete with the Pittsburghs that had in that run there, like Stahl, Fleury, Malkin, Crosby, right? 4 straight drafts where they had a top 3 or top 4 pick. Well, and then generational picks too. So was it a surprise that they became an elite team? No, but Montreal's on that path where the future is awfully bright. I thank the Flyers every day for Cole Grant and taking Cam York. Yeah. Well, I don't mind Cam York, but the Flyers, it's funny. And then, they don't go for the small guy, but they learned their lesson because then a couple of years later, they take Bobby Brink, 5'8". Last 2 years ago, they take Denver Barkey, 5'7", 5'8". And Barkey's an NHLer, become a decent NHLer that allowed them to trade away Bobby Brink. No, no, yeah, well, KK, that he came later though, Jonathan. I'm talking about back, you know, back in the day, because Chucky was already gone. KK never, we didn't get KK in his prime with Carey. It was Chuck. It was Chuck and Carey, right, in their primes, and they never didn't work out. Although, we got KK at what, 20 with last season Carey, and what'd they do? KK scores the goal that, say what you want about KK, he scored. Well, Lehkonen never gets that overtime goal to send them to the Cup finals if not for KK with that overtime goal against Toronto when they didn't have a shot on goal. They were down 3-1. KK scored the goal, man, that turned the whole thing. You could argue that he scored the most important goal because beating the Leafs, I'm sorry, beating the Leafs that year might be the most important series one that the Habs have had since they won the Cup, since they beat LA. And KK scored the goal that turned the tide. Yeah, it went off of a defenseman and, whatever, but, up to the stands. So, hey, KK hasn't worked out, but you could argue that he scored the most important goal. Beating the Leafs that year, I'm sorry, that was just that was delightful. I mean, especially after putting up with Leaf fans on social media and they used to be, they were fervently against me because I liked Laine more than Matthews, and I wasn't afraid to put down Matthews, and I just became public enemy number one on social media with Leaf fans. I mean, to the point where they, that famous or infamous tweet with me apparently saying that you watch in 3 years, Strome will be better than McDavid, which I never put up. But that was a Leaf fan that just, they were just so, they hated me so much because I wasn't a Matthews guy. And I still am not. And I still think I was right. Like Austin Matthews is not somebody that's going to win you a freaking cup. And till that gets proven otherwise, I still don't think I was wrong about that. But oh my goodness, the crap I put up with from Leaf fans, and then similar also with me not being afraid to say that I didn't think Michkov would be nearly as good as Demidov, and that was even before the Habs drafted him. Of course, then, you're a homer, but the Flyers fans have hated me for the last 3 years because, I didn't think that Michkov was all that in a bag of chips. And again, we'll see, but I don't know. I don't think I was wrong on Michkov either. That guy couldn't check his hat. He doesn't give. Hey, I got lots of background on him in his draft year, and it wasn't pretty. And we're seeing it now. You see him arguing with his coaches on the bench and all that stuff. I don't know. I see Yakupov 2.0. I really do. Folks, Next Level Hockey, specialist in hockey development, trusted by NHL prospects. Whether you're looking to elevate your shooting, skating, stick handling, or overall game, NLH is here to take your game to the next level. Visit them at nextlevelhockey.com and follow their Instagram, Next Level Hockey, for daily tips, posts, and updates. If you or someone you know have a young aspiring hockey player who wants to elevate their game, trust Next Level Hockey to guide them forward. Next Level Hockey. It's in the name. Moog, Fuhrer were somewhat lucky to be in their situation. Do I think Dovish Fowler could be as good as Moog Fuhrer duo? Well, I don't know. I mean, they don't have a Gretzky, but maybe. Dobie's a bit like Fuhrer in that he, maybe the numbers aren't great all the time, but he comes up with the big saves at the right time, right? Yeah, he tied Gretzky for most playoff goals before age 20. I posted KK stats all the time, and hey, I wanted him to succeed, man, because I predicted just like and I've got a lot of flack for being right on KK being a top 5 pick and maybe being picked by the Habs. Again, that just like the Slav pick, people thought I was crazy when in I don't know, after the U18s I said KK's going top 5 and he could well be Montreal's pick. It was just, no, you're nuts. There's no way. It's Zadina. They need Pavel Zadina. That was and a few people said Kachuk, but it was mostly Zadina. And people won't, or Philip Zadina, sorry. People won't admit that now. They'll say, oh yeah, I wanted Brady Kachuk. Oh yeah, 8 goals scoring in Brady Kachuk. Sure you did. Yeah, okay. But because I do public lists and I was out there in public, when KK finally didn't, at 20 years of age, he didn't develop past that. He blew out his knee that summer and wasn't able to train, came back to Montreal, struggled and should have been sent to the minors, and they didn't because they'd have taken too much flack. Funny how Bergevin, was worried about taking too much flack to send a top 3 pick down to the minors when that's what he should have done, but wasn't worried about taking the flack, wasn't on the ball enough to know the political incorrectness of drafting Logan Mailloux at that point in the first round, when even his agent had said we don't want to get picked in the first round. Bergie didn't have a lot of awareness sometimes. His spider sense didn't tingle at the right times. But they should have. That was the start of the end for KK when they kept plugging him in there, even though it was readily apparent that he needed to go to the AHL, find his confidence, because his stats, like his rookie year, like I did stats up, and in the last 20 years, KK, one of the best, 34 points as an 18-year-old. Not many have done it. I mean, this year we've got Schaefer doing it, but there's been less than 10 since in the last 15 years. KK was one of them. but then he injured his knee, and they friggin' just one of the many guys that they did not develop right in the Bergevin era. Yeah, KK wasn't too bad in the playoff there. Do I believe in drafting best player available? Oh yeah, BPA. And yeah, yeah, it's the other thing too. Oh, the Canadians only drafted him because they needed a center. No, well, centers have more value. You know, like you look at a draft, if you think, well, Zadina, KK, I think Zadina's like Trevor thought, and he thought right, that KK would be better than Zadina, that KK was better, not only better, but also a center, and they needed a center. So it wasn't, Tony said it after, and him and Norm Flynn, every show for 3 years on radio. Oh, why did they go center when, they should have taken, they took what they thought was the best player available. It wasn't just because he was center. They happened to need a center. And, in hindsight, you can say all you want about, but teams around them, like I talked to the Senators GM, head scout at the time after, and, they took Brady Tkachuk, but I asked him, like, did you like KK? Oh yeah, for sure. He was high on our list. Like if Montreal had taken Tkachuk at 3, don't be, Ottawa taking KK at 4 was not was very likely. Another team had him top 2, had him ahead of Svechnikov that I talked to. That their head scout had him ranked 2nd overall. So, KK went up against Jack Hughes in the U18s that year. Finland beat the US, and KK was excellent, fantastic. He was the first line center. He went up against Hughes and Caufield and outplayed them and beat them in the final. 6'3" kid, two-way guy, good point producer at that time. What fooled me, I thought he had good hockey sense, but as time has gone on here, it's apparent that his hockey sense is not as good as we thought, because he outplayed Jack Hughes in the U18s that year. So development's very important, and when a player needs to be sent down, you've got to do it. Don't let public pressure or pride get in the way because he was a top 3 pick. It was clear that KK was struggling. He lost his confidence. He didn't get to skate. He didn't improve his skating. He was a step behind because of it. Start that year. AHL. They put him down for 4 games and then brought him back up. Should have just, all year. KK, all right. Didn't look good in camp. Sent him down, but they didn't. And he never recovered. Never got it back. Cole 7.85 for another 4 years. Last 7.6 for another 4 years. Suzuki 7.8. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I know. And you know what the cap's going to be? It's going to be probably $5 million for average salary in 4 years' time. No, it's nuts. It's nuts that those guys are locked up for that. When you figure what you know, like Matthews gets and what he's going to ask for. Like Kaprizov, 10 million more than those guys, really? A 5'10" winger that's won what, one or two playoff series in his career makes 10 million more than all of those guys a year? More than double? It's crazy. The reason I asked KK was drafted because of need, in my opinion. Yeah, no. That's not the case. It isn't. KK was again, when you're ranking players, you take into account what position they play. Like if you have a defenseman or a center that you rate equally or damn close to a winger, they're ranked ahead of the winger, regardless of whether you need a center or not. That's just the value of a center and a defenseman far outweighs the value of a winger, and it's factored into your final list, right? KK was the top rated, and if you look back, there weren't a lot of good centers in that draft either. But there's always a center that goes fairly high in the draft because there's such a value there. Hey, like Carolina paid a pretty hefty price to get him, right? Because centers have value. They signed him to that big deal, and most French media were talking about Zadina. Yeah, for sure. Who would you say is Bryce Pickford comparable either now playing in NHL or ex-NHL? Is it too far-fetched to say Mike Green, but his knock was defending? Geez, I hope he ends up being a little. Yeah, I guess Mike Green. Again, I don't know. Something. Bryce Pickford's kind of a unicorn there. Like there aren't too many players that I would compare him to be honest with you. He's a rare bird. But Mike Green, I guess. But how tall was Mike Green? I think, Pickford's a little bigger, right? And certainly thought to be better defensively, like in junior. Maybe not a lot better, but better. No, Green's 6'1", 210, or he was 6 foot. Green only had 14 goals, and then his last 2 years as a junior. So, yeah, I guess a little bit. But hey, Mike Green, what, 500 points in the NHL? Not too shabby. Did okay for himself. Had a 31 goal season. Zadina commented arrogantly in so many words that what teams would regret not picking him. Yeah. Yeah, Trevor wasn't overly impressed with his character. I think he was a big smoker too. He liked his cigarettes. And that, this day and age, draft year, heavy smoker. that doesn't go over too well. Yeah, I remember having some really good email exchanges, like, because I mean, hey, it wasn't easy. Trevor really liked Kachuk, and I mean, saw the skill in Hughes too, right? Like, it wasn't easy. You bounce back and forth. Like, I remember sending emails to Trevor and changing my mind back and forth at times, saying, KK could become, that top two center you need, but Brady, man, you need that too. You need that power forward, big, mean kid that, his stats weren't great, but you knew that he was still gonna find a way. Just too big and too skilled not to be a goal scorer eventually. That, and Trevor replied back, yeah, I know. He'd be a really good, like, I'm sure that he went back and forth on those guys a lot. And certainly Zadina wasn't the next guy on his list. It was Kachuk. And then with Hughes, it was the size concern. And he wasn't alone. I know scouts that didn't have, well, I didn't rank Hughes very high. I screwed up on that one, but I certainly wasn't alone with NHL scouts saying, the size, man. I don't know that he can, that he'll be able to adapt defensively. And I know, I still remember the big game, championship game, and him getting burned, just overpowered by size. Mind you, he was a friggin' freshman playing NCAA and maybe put a little too much into it, but Trevor texted back to me, see, that's what concerns me, and that's what, like, will he be able to adapt? That was college hockey. Will it be even harder for him at the NHL level? And it was the first 3 years for Hughes, but he did adapt. I mean, we all saw the skating ability and the skill. There was some certainly Phil Housley type potential with him, but there were certainly fair number of scouts who didn't think Hughes should be picked in the top 10. And we still have to see. At the end of the day, when you pick a guy in the top 10, yeah, regular season glory and points is nice. It certainly, you have to get to the playoffs, but he hasn't done anything. He hasn't carried a team to anything in the playoffs, and we'll see with Minnesota here. But certainly in Vancouver, second round when he was playing a heavy team, the one and only time in Vancouver that they won a series and went a couple rounds, he got overwhelmed again by forechecking and size in his own zone in the heavy going. So we'll see. We'll see if Quinn Hughes can take a team to Stanley Cup glory. But when I always made lists and for drafts and stuff, it was always with a big part of it was, hey, can this guy help you at playoff time? Can he help you win a Stanley Cup? Because if you're drafting somebody top 5, top 10, ultimately that's the most important thing, that you're drafting him to help you win when it really matters. Lots of points in the regular season are nice, makes the pick look good, makes you look good, and people tend to And it's something I'll never understand. Like, you know, Ovechkin, oh, these many goals. Yeah, but why do you not count playoff goals too? You know, he hasn't caught Gretzky when you count playoff goals, but that's never. Is that not more important? What you did at playoff time? Like, no one ever says, "Oh, well, that guy was an 80 points career playoff scorer." Like Maurice Richard scored 82 games in the NHL playoffs in in an era when games were 1-0, 2-1. It's hardly ever brought up. It's always what you did in the regular season as far as your stats go. And I just, at the end of the day, that's not what's important. I said this on a different pod, but I see a lot of Lemieux and Pickford's game. May you? Yeah. They're different players. Mayu just needs experience. I find the Mayu defensive woes are have always been overblown by certain members of the media. He just needs experience. Why do you think the Jackets were so in love with Caden Lindstrom? Because he was 6'4", skate like the wind, scored 38 goals before he got hurt in his draft year. Probably be why. I mean, hey, they didn't think that he'd miss all of last year. That's unfortunate for them. But Russian factor. You're not getting the scout with the Ukraine war. Not getting the scout. It's hard to draft a guy top 4 that you don't see live. I mean, I get that. Even if when you watched him on video, you could see just how good, how damn good Demidov was. But, they didn't get to see him do a lot of interviews. They didn't get medical records on him, and he had injured his knee that year, which is kind of funny as it turned out, because Lindstrom's the one that missed the whole next year, but Lindstrom, not Lidstrom, actually. But it's early on Lindstrom. We'll see. Give him another year to, like Dean Letourneau. People, he didn't score last year. He was, a rotten pick. Well, check out the difference in his stats from last year to this year. Letourneau really picked it up, and he actually was a guy that I thought the Canadians might target with that pick that they ended up using to get Hage. But a big jump, Letourneau in his second year in college, and I think you might see that with Lindstrom next year. But I was glad that they passed on Demidov. I had him ranked 2nd overall. Seneca ranked 3rd. Yeah. Thanks, Sel. I read where he declined a PTO with Red Wings to re-enter the draft. Make all the teams that passed on regret. Yeah. Enjoyed this evening. Well done. Okay. Well, ended up being 2.5 hours. My beer's done. I hope you enjoyed spending the rest of your St. Paddy's Day night with me. I guess that's part of it, eh? Not a huge crowd because people are partying tonight. Good night, Glenn. Anders. Die Hard Habs. Tampa 4-2. Sabres still 1-0. Yeah. 4-2 Lightning, 7 minutes left. Golden Knights can't seem to score. Still 1-0, 10:59 left. Maybe I'll go watch the end of that. Doesn't look like the Kraken they're going to get cracking and end up coming back in that one. Preds beat the Jets in the shootout. Oilers came back, beat the Sharks 5-3. Hey, I don't count out any team with McDavid, even if Draisaitl's out. What did Connor do tonight? Oh, other guys came up. Max Jones with a second of the year. And Zach Hyman. Good for them. Nice to see Podkolzin turn it around too. I had him ranked pretty high in his draft year. Anderson didn't come out. Yeah, for the third star, I know. Will the Sens make the playoffs? Maybe. Sens are in tough. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, I didn't find that he was very good in the gold medal game either. He's still got a lot to prove, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, Ken, I did mention earlier. About 2 hours and 20 minutes ago, I mentioned that Connor Murphy scored tonight. All right, Ken, you have a good night. Kenny, you made some good points tonight. Hey, there you go, Ken. Yes, you did. He always does. Ken's got a sharp hockey mind. I jumped in the air when they selected Demidov, but also liked Seneca. Yeah. That was Seneca was. I got well. Not many lists had him top 15. I couldn't believe it because I had him top. Well, I ended up ranking him third overall. What? What are you doing? You're crazy. And I always, I used to be that guy, maybe 20 years ago. What do you mean that's crazy? And then as time would turn, because you never know, right? Don't get too critical of where people rank players and stuff, because it's a very inexact science, the NHL draft. It's one of the beauties of it. You can look foolish and you can run somebody down, say they're nuts or crazy, and it's all there. The person can go back. Like I could spend a month just going back at old tweets about ranking Jake Sanderson third overall, because I got all sorts of heat for that. I was nuts. Slav putting him first overall in January and not Shane Wright. I was almost run out of town for that one, because Habs fans it had been drilled into them that Shane Wright was the next, he was the next coming. He was the second coming. And how many people said you're nuts and crazy. And Seneca, when I ranked him top 5 and the top 3, and there's no way he's going even top 10. You don't know. And people disregard the fact also that, and it's not always just me, being all knowing or anything like that. It's far from that. I also have a lot of scouting friends, and they, like if they all said, no, Grant, Jake Sanderson, there's no way that you would rank him top 3. Well, they didn't say that. They knew that Jake Sanderson was really good, Seneca, nobody had him top 3, I don't think, but a lot of guys liked him. A lot of NHL guys liked him top 5. So me ranking him 3rd overall wasn't a stretch in the NHL circles, but on social media, because independent lists, like, people take independent lists and think, oh, well, that's got to be it. That's got to be how the NHL guys have it. But they don't. Often the independent lists are not close to what an NHL list is. And NHL lists can vary so much too. That's the other thing. Like, you would not believe how different NHL lists are from team to team. There's it would boggle your mind how different they can be. Time to make X into a power forward. Yeah. Landon Dupont is on a heater. I can see both him and Schaefer at next Olympics. He's pretty special. Still got another year to go too, eh? Vasiliev on the back end. How of Vasiliev on our back end? What? Who's your pick to win the Frozen Four? One of Michigan's teams or someone else? Yeah, I hear you. Well, the thing is, though, I don't think they can play H to the last 2 games of the year because of the cap crap. So it doesn't matter. Even if they lose early, you won't see H play to the last 2 games of the year regardless. So they may as well win. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the gist of it. So I don't know. Michigan State lost to Ohio State. This 1 game knockout thing, it could be anybody, Michigan State, I think, is the favorite, but Michigan stands a chance. Denver's always tough. They're top 4. That's a good question. But to be honest with you, I don't really follow it closely enough to give you that informed of an answer on who. I mean, just on paper, you would think Michigan State, but North Dakota is always tough. Michigan will be there, Denver, the usual suspects, Minnesota, Duluth, Western Michigan. They're all very strong. I hope Providence does okay too. Got Logan Sawyer, of course. Boston College and imagine BU and Boston College don't make it, eh? It's entirely possible, which would be pretty crazy. Penn State, I don't think they've got the horses. Cornell's a dark horse. They're top 10. Nice Cornell and Dartmouth with 2 Habs goaltending prospects, both top 10. Very good defensively. Sometimes a team like that, it's hard to beat. That's good defensively, right? Good goaltender, you never know. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to keep an eye on, for sure. All right, guys, I gotta pack it in here. Thanks for everything, and we will. I'll get up a Dylan. I've got that number. I'll try to get his coach on, his former coach at UMass Lowell. See if I can get an interview with him, and I'll do a video scouting report at some point tomorrow on Dylan Bentley. And keep your stick on the ice. Thanks for joining me on this St. Paddy's Day night, and hope to see you sometime tomorrow. I'll give you a heads up on when my next podcast is. Folks, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I appreciate it very much. Have yourselves a pleasant evening. Good night to all.